Okay, so I must have been just lucking into a good run of fortune with dynamics on all of my other FM18 saves. It would be the one that's supposed to be the big long term one where it's just not working out. How'd you sign team leaders? Hello and welcome to part 3 of Backing the Boro. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, we're away against Blyth and at home against Darlington, both in the Conference North. Since you were last with me, I've been fiddling with tactics trying to get something working. As you can see, we had a good start to the season, and then this terrible for me, I guess. I mean, it's not a disaster against our pre-season targets and against the media predictions. We're supposed to be a mid-table team, and we're still... Where are we? Why is it not letting me click the... I don't know what's happening. We're still in the playoff positions at the moment, so I guess that run's not terrible. It was a long, unbeaten run until Salford happened. But I don't know. We've managed to pick up a league win. We were playing a 3-4-3 for a little while because the keeper got injured, and we lost Elliott in midfield as well. And I just wanted to shore things up a little bit, and it worked against Southport. It didn't work at all against Welling. We had about one shot in the entire game against Welling. There you go, one shot, not on target. So I'm abandoning that today because I can't live in a world where a team of mine only has one shot. But we're not creating enough chances, we're not scoring enough goals. And as much as he's our star man, I can't help but think this problem might be caused by the existence of Jordan Nicholson. Because I don't know if he's the kind of player we can fit into a Conference North team. He's a very, very talented player, but he's an advanced playmaker who wants to play as an attacking midfielder on attack. He wants to be all fancy. And that's just not the way we're setting up to play. We haven't got anyone else with that kind of ability. And I think he might be a bit of a luxury we can't afford. So I'm in the process of, in my head, giving him his last chance to... and he's been one of our better players. If you look at average ratings, he is our star man this year as well. But I don't know, do I move him out into the left wing, but then we lose Henschel? Oh, it's difficult. Made more difficult as well by the fact we've now lost our right winger to injury. Hold on. Where is he? Zidane Akers is out for 4 weeks with a twisted ankle. And we don't have another right midfielder at the club, apart from Ashley Chambers. So for today, we're going back to the 4-2-3-1. We're moving Chambers out onto the wing, which is a big risk because he's our other star man. And he has pretty much been our only source of goals this year. 7 goals from 12 games. It's not spectacular, but it's a pretty decent return despite all the misses. And we're giving Jonathan Nixon a chance to come in and prove himself, which he's not exactly done with 6 substitute appearances so far. That's enough to earn him his first start, of course. The good news is Linus is fit again. Elliott's still out for a little while, so Hickey is going to be in midfield, which is giving him the game time that he so desperately wanted. So if we do get the 4-2-3-1 working, we can move Hickey up into the advanced midfielder place when Nicholson goes back to Posh. But I don't know, I'm struggling a little bit to find a tactic that I like. Elliott's on the bench, by the way. And Kelvin Langmead is also fit again, but not really match fit. Hold on, I've let my assistant manager choose my substitutes, and what on earth has he done? I mean, that is a right state. Let's just fix this for a minute. We don't need all these defenders. Whoever uses this many defenders, stick a striker on there as well. There you go, that's much more like it. Although Langmead actually, Langmead can play up front, I think. He could when he was at Posh, there you go. If necessary, stick Langmead up front. No, we're not going to do that. There we go. That's what we'll do. Let's get into the game. I'm nervous because we are really struggling to find any kind of decent form. We're playing on control and flexible still, and I'm wondering if we perhaps need to have a rethink on that. And it's okay, I admit it. I'm looking across at the Alfreton save that I'm doing as part of Non-League to Legend and thinking we're just doing a 4-4-2 hoofball on that, and it's really working well. I've got better players at my disposal at Nuneaton, and I'm trying to play a better standard of football, and it's not working. At what point do I just abandon this and go to hoofball with Nuneaton as well? And I mean, and Elliott's not fit. We're going to bring him back in the team, though. If Hickey's going to get injured, there you go. Elliott's back in the team. We're pretty much back to a full-strength team now. We just need Chambers back up front and a right winger of some kind. We have got T on the bench, but I've not really had a look at him at all yet. His star rating isn't that impressive. And I don't know, Nixon isn't either. Perhaps we need to stop playing with this front four. Henschel's done brilliantly there, though, and that's part of my worry, because Henschel is excellent. And if we drop the attacking midfielder, Nicholson has to go out into the left wing. We can't drop him completely. So this is the only system that accommodates Henschel and Nicholson, which is difficult. Also, I've looked at how we could do a flat 4-4-2, similar to what I'm doing at Alfreton, and neither Henschel or Akers can play on the right-hand side of a midfield. On the side of a midfield, sorry. They're proper wingers who don't want to play in a midfield. Nicholson can't play on the left-hand side of a midfield, so we don't really have the wide midfield players to play a 4-4-2. We could do a 4-2-4, but that seems silly when we don't have a good second striker, and we've got Jordan Nicholson there. That brings us back round to the 4-2-3-1 again. So, I don't know, perhaps we just need to tweak the player instructions and the team instructions on the 4-2-3-1, make it a little bit more hoofball-y. But then what's the point in hoofing the ball up to a little poacher and a playmaker? What are they going to do with it? Perhaps we just need to go out, buy a target man. Oh, Chambers is in behind. I think he's won a penalty there. He has won a penalty. There you go. Chambers using his pace and running down the right-hand side. Henschel now gets a penalty. Hopefully he's going to score it. I've been bigging Henschel up all game. If he misses this, he makes my decision for me. He doesn't miss it, and it's 1-0. And that, I mean, we fly back up the league to 4th place there. Salford are running away with the league a little bit. 32 points, 7 points clear of Salford in 2nd place. But we don't really need to be looking at who's top of the league. I think if we manage to get into the playoffs this year, that's going to be a significant achievement. And now we've lost John Ashton. So Langmead is going to get back in the team a little bit sooner than planned, because he's going to have to come on for Ashton. And now we've got 2 players who aren't really fit in key areas of the team, and we've got one of these phantom replays as well. We don't need a phantom replay. Unless, I wonder if all these red cards I keep missing, I wonder if that was a replay for something like that, but it wasn't. Perhaps it was a replay of the Ashton injury. Maybe. Who knows? Either way, let's have a look at what's wrong with these two. Okay, we can't because the thing's gone away. There we go. Hickey has got a potential upper body injury. Ashton, a potential head injury. Wow. So he's going to be out for a little while. I guess it is the advantage of having so many centre-backs that we won't massively miss Ashton, even if he's out for a little while, other than the fact that he's also my assistant manager. So I don't know how that works with him taking the training, if he's got a concussion or something. But we're so well endowed with centre-backs. We've got Exodus and Brad Gascoigne not even on the bench today. So I think we could probably afford to let a couple of them leave, and certainly don't need to worry if they get injured. They're all pretty much interchangeable. What we need is a target man. I wonder if this 4-2-3-1, does this work with Chambers on the right-hand side and a target man up front if we go and get one? I know we've got one in the shape of Ball, but he's not very good. And Nicholson is in behind here. What can he do? He skips round. I mean, Jordan Nicholson has just, with one moment of absolute brilliance, demonstrated why I can't even be thinking of dropping him, because that was exceptional. There's no right any player has to be doing this in the National League North. Look at this on the replay. He just skips round his man and squares it to Nixon. He gets his first goal for the club in his first start. Perhaps I don't need to go and sign another striker. Perhaps this front four is the solution. Chambers is a winger, and Nixon will score goals if he's got Nicholson in behind him, putting them on a plate like that. Linus collects well. Let's make our 3rd substitution. It'd be nice to do one that we've done voluntarily. How are we doing today? Mellor's not having the best of games, but we took our reserve left-back off the bench, so he's going to have to stay on. El Bekri, not having the best of games, but I might bring on NT, actually, on the right-hand side, just to have a little look at him. We're 2-0 up. We can give Chambers a little bit of a rest, and I've not seen NT at all yet, so, or Ntai. How would we say that? Let's see if he's any good. Oh, they're going to go and score now, aren't they? And can I cancel my change? I don't really want to experiment. I think I can, can't I? That's one of the fancy new things. If it's not already happened, I should get the option to cancel it. And I am going to cancel it and have another look, because I don't really want to take my star man off if we're going to need him. So, do we get the little message, or has it already happened? No. And now go back in. It's the first time I've used that feature. Right, let's try again. Now we're going to take off... We could probably bring Beswick on and he'd be a better option. Or I quite want to look at Callum Ball because he's a target man. So maybe we put Callum Ball on up front. I might actually just go with the original option and try this guy out, who's not played for us at all yet. Oh, there you go. He's had one substitute appearance previously and left me with such an impression that I don't remember him. But let's do it. It's what we were originally doing. Let's not second guess. Let's get him on. Confirm and hope we don't regret not having Ashley Chambers on the pitch. I need a plan for when we go ahead in games and we need to hold on, because as much fun as it is having these 4 attacking players, we're not exactly solid defensively when we're doing this. So we probably need a plan of some kind. Maybe the plan involves taking off Henschel and bringing on Beswick maybe to go in as the defensive midfielder, which is what he's in theory supposed to be able to do, although we've not tried him there, and go to a 4-3-3. But Nixon's in again and finds T, who beats his man. He's quick. Goodness me, is he quick? And that was a great cross to Henschel, who really should have done better with it. I like the look of T in the first piece of action I've seen him do. He's a proper quick player. Elliott. Nicholson plays it through to Henschel, who can't chase it. Or does, but does it really, really slowly. To be fair, I did tell him not to run too fast on the preview to this series. So I guess at least he's following the instructions that he's given. So I'll give him that. But that would have been an example of somewhere where running fast would have been nice. Oh, no. Very close. I really wish I hadn't made that. I want to bring Beswick on as a holding midfielder now, because I am getting a little bit afraid. I mean, Nicholson is so good; he should be able to play there. He should be able to play everywhere. But I worry that he probably can't. And this isn't a time to experiment. And they're in, and there's the equaliser. How many times do I have to say I should make a change and not make the change before I look like a buffoon? Ugh. We just don't seem to be able to hold on to winning positions. Hang about. Hold the phone, everybody. Blyth have had 23 shots today. We were absolutely mugging them before, and they deserve a winner here, and they're going to grab it as well. Oh, Linus does well. But how have we let that happen? That is something I should have noticed earlier in the game. But that... 25 shots, 17 of them on target, 5 clear-cut chances, 10 half chances. We need to make some changes. We cannot let a team who are 19th in the league do that to us, because we have done exceptionally well to hang on as long as we have in this game. But that is just crazy. Sheesh. Right. Back to the drawing board then, for the second of today's 2 matches. I really don't know what to do. Right, I'm going to try and fix this not having a target man problem. So these 3 have all been identified by my director of football as... I did loan, striker, target man, and they were the 3 that came up. There's now a different 3 that comes up. Wow. But I've now sent the scouts off to look at them. I've got loans agreed with all of them, but I don't want to confirm the loans until I've had a scout report back to confirm. I mean, some of their stats would be nice. We're actually getting a couple through now. But look at that for a range. Aaron Jarvis, we can bring him in. We know his heading is somewhere between a 4 and a 12, and we don't know anything else about him. So I need a little bit more before I agree to bring him in, other than the fact that he's 6 foot tall. I mean, that scout summary, that kind of says it all. Have we got... And that's a 42 as well. And his is 1-7, so he's definitely not the man. Elliot Rocker, a little bit... I mean, he looks a bit more like he might be what we're after. Tranmere, so he might be the man who ends up coming in. But for today, there's not a lot we can change. We just don't have the players to do it, especially because we've been hit by a little bit of an injury crisis. If I have the unavailable filter on, we've got every fit outfield player is involved in our match day 16. Gascoigne and Akers are still not ready to return to full training, and everyone else is either injured or suspended. So Ashton injured, he's got a concussion, he's going to be out for ages. Heaton suspended. Mellor injured, out for about a month. Hickey injured, out for about a month. So we don't exactly have loads of options to change things around. So different defence, because 3 of the 4 are unavailable. Diona, Langmead and Exodus all come in. I've changed the fullbacks to be defensive fullbacks on defend, and we just want that back 4 to sit and defend. I think we're trying to be a bit too fancy, trying to have overlapping fullbacks. So those 4 just defend. Hopefully we'll stop letting in too many late goals. Elliott comes back into the midfield as a starter, and the front 4 hasn't changed because we don't have any way to change it really. The only other tweak I've made is we've gone to standard and structured rather than control and flexible, and we've added on be more disciplined and get stuck in as a result of the low levels of aggression and commitment in the squad. So we want them to be a bit more aggressive, and I think disciplined will make them a bit more committed. I don't really know. My assistant manager suggested that one, but then he's got a concussion, so he's probably just picking random buttons. Let's get into the game. The game's not even today. What am I doing picking my team right now? This is crazy talk. How did I manage to get the match day wrong? At least the players support me. I mean, it's good, isn't it? Right. I'll leave this to my concussed assistant manager to do. He's saying cross low. I agree with him. Let's cross low because we don't have a big striker. And we'll just submit that team that we've already picked. I don't know how I got the day wrong. I think it's because I wanted to get it done before my tactical meeting, and I spent so long fiddling with it that I forgot that we weren't on match day and just turned the camera on. So there you go. You've now seen that I leave the pre-match meetings to my assistant manager because I don't really understand how they work. Right, Nicholson, do something special. Justify the fact that you exist. I know you did that in the last game, but it's no good if we're not winning matches. And we are... This whole 4-2-3-1 system is on its last legs at the moment. If we don't play well and pick up a good win today, with a target man hopefully coming in before the next match, we do have the option to start switching things up a little bit and have a big man up alongside Ashley Chambers, and then it's just the current midfield 3 are then battling it out for 2 wide spots, and Jordan Nicholson is doing his very best to get me to keep an attacker midfielder in the team, because he is, every time we play a match, he is the best player on the pitch. The only problem is he just doesn't fit into the way the rest of the team plays, and it's so frustrating. I feel like a Southampton fan with Matt Le Tissier back in the 90s. There you go, there's a reference for the older viewers. But I don't even know if that's accurate. I just remember he was much, much better than everyone else at the club. And I can just imagine a few occasions where, I mean, there you go, problem solved. Forget the Matt Le Tissier nonsense. Our problem is solved. Nicholson is done. And now, I guess we do what I was toying with doing anyway, which was this. I mean, it's not exactly fancy, but it hopefully gets the job done. Proper cover in front of that defence now. And it does also mean that we can put him in his preferred position. Do we want him to defend? I guess we could just say, go on, defend as well. Let's have a back 5 all defend him. And it allows El Bekri to get a little bit further forward, who is a man who's at the club permanently and can play in the system that we want. So as good as Jordan Nicholson is, El Bekri might be a better option. Apologies to Southampton fans, by the way. I'm not going to finish my discussion of Southampton in the 90s. If you want my thoughts on it, follow me on Twitter at Lollujo, and you can ask me all about what I thought about 90s Southampton. I guess they had Alan Shearer as well, didn't they? So they were probably doing all right. I guess you could probably consider him. He left though. Le Tissier didn't. Aye. We're 1-0 up, which is good. And we're playing... They've got Stefan Broccoli in their team. Star of last year's non-league to legend. I want to sign Stefan Broccoli. I bought a pink Southend shirt because I wanted broccoli on the back of it, and bottled out of having it done because it cost an extra 16 quid or something ridiculous on a shirt that I already spent over 50 quid on. Right, El Bekri with the corner. It falls to Henschel, who knocks it down to Chambers, and Beswick, there you go. He's saying, forget Jordan Nicholson. I know he scored earlier as an attacking midfielder. Now I'm going to score as a defensive midfielder, plus giving you all that extra defensive cover. I'm probably your man, boss. Henschel brought that down quite nicely. And it's a nice little move between the 3 of them there to set that goal up. And I don't know, is this the system? Perhaps we need to abandon the plans for a target man, or perhaps Chambers still plays on the right-hand side of midfield in this system, and we bring in a target man to play where Nixon's playing. and we do, and then we just lump it up to. Oh, but there you go. Nixon's saying, "Hang on, boss. I scored in the last game. I scored again today. Perhaps you don't need a new striker at all." Perhaps we don't need a new striker at all. Perhaps we just need to play 4-3-3. The only problem is, I mean, it might not even be a problem. If Nicholson's out for 6 weeks, for example, he's pretty much done because he goes back to Posh in January. But if he's back in 2 weeks' time, then we do have a decision to make between him and Henschel. But cliche bingo time. I guess that's a nice problem to have. And Henschel's not even playing very well, so we'll take him off now anyway and have a look at Greg Mills, who we haven't played yet, because he was injured at the start of the season as well. He's a winger who can play on either side. So we'll get him in, see if he's any good. And hopefully he's brilliant as well. I mean, he's someone I'm looking at as an option for the right-hand side, along with NT, if Nixon didn't work out and we had to move Chambers back up front. But I imagine it's fair to say Nixon's done all right. 2 goals from 2 starts. It's probably not dropping territory for him just yet. And if we are going to get a nice juicy win with this system, this might be the team that goes into the next game. Exodus not having the best of games. So we'll bring on young Jamie Horncastle, who was one of my signings pre-season. We've not played him yet, but you know, we didn't have enough centre-backs at the club already. Let's blood another one. And I'm still not having a look at Callum Ball, who is the target man we've already got at the club. Because I don't know, I've just fallen out with him. I've decided he's fallen out with me. He moaned that he wasn't getting football, and he shouldn't get football. Ashley Chambers is at the club, and we're playing with one striker. Look at that! Everyone's extremely delighted, and we've just won a football match. We're back up into the playoff positions again, and we're only 6 points off the top of the league. Doom and gloom is gone, everybody. 4-3-3 isn't the answer because I can't say it. 4-3-3 is the answer. There we go. Smashing. If you have enjoyed that today, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more. And thank you very much for watching.